Here's a quick video to show how to update the slides for the investor update from the dashboard output sheet that we just created. So first of all, this is all inside the investor portal folder. And in the investor portal folder, you'll see investor updates. And then these are the two Google Slides versions. We do a quarterly one and then a monthly one. And every month I'd like to just quickly update the monthly one. And the way to update the monthly one is first, we're going to create a copy of this. Because we want to save the old one. So you make a copy of the month before. And so the copy should pop up here in shortly. And then we change the name and we call it April. Okay, then we do that and then we go into it. And it's actually pretty easy to do this. So again, the one thing I would like you to do for this is kind of remove all the text that I've put up and update all the charts and the tables. So if we go in here, this is already empty, but you'll see these charts have update buttons. All you need to do is click update. And I'm not sure what happened there, probably because if they disappear like this, you have to go back into the dashboard and figure out why the EBITDA variance of the current month is so off. And what usually happens, so if we do summary period to date, and then the EBITDA variance, I'm not sure why it was off. Let me see where it is, where my EBITDA variance comes from. I can't remember where my EBITDA variance analysis is here. You'll see that it's kind of, it comes from all the other files here. Whoops. A little confused here as to what is happening. Oh, it's coming from the import range. So it is actually coming from the right table. So this is actually all okay. But these variances, what's probably happening here is that the scale is off. So if you double click on here, you'll see it comes, it'll come over here. And if you go to customize and you go to chart and axes, well, actually you go to vertical axis, you'll see that the minimum and the maximum are here. And so if we go to the minimum being 0, you'll see that said if the minimum is 10,000, you'll see how it kind of pops up here because we basically ended up from 7,000 to 0. So if we do minus 1,000 for this one, and then the max is, in this case, let's just do 10,000 because that's kind of where it is. And you'll see this one's updated. Now you go to this one and do the same, which I think versus last year. So let's do 0, see what happens there. I think it's probably negative 1,000 again, and then it goes to positive, maybe 10,000. So you just update these a little bit, and actually maybe it's not, maybe it needs to go negative 10,000, positive 10,000, and we'll have a look at it. I mean, that looks about right, but you could do negative 5,000. So you just need to update these to be accurate. We could do it as an automatic one, but the automatic is not always, doesn't always look as good as what we're doing here. Like this is actually a good one here. And then here, the year to date is always good, but sometimes I prefer to have it start at 300,000, and then go to 450,000, because then you get a little bit more detail about what's going on here. And the same here for this one, you do 300,000 to 450,000. So there you go. So then now let's go back to the slides and keep updating them. If you click update, now these will be updated like we talked about here. So then you just click that update button. Then you go to here and you have the same for all these tables. So we would update the tables here. And what always happens, unfortunately, with these tables is that the formatting gets messed up. So you've got to go to Format Options and Text Fitting here. And then you've got to put the padding to 0. And then it'll be updated. You see how that worked? It worked here. And then the same thing here. We update it, and then it'll be too big, and then we'll select it all. I think you can probably just click on there and then do the same thing and make the padding just 0, and then it gets into the right size. When there are issues like this, we'll go and investigate them later, but this should have updated all the numbers. And again here, same thing, just click update, click update. Okay, here on the POR variance, you'll see that that it went off the chart, which is actually a bad thing, but also not very good in this particular instance. So let's go into the rooms variance. Again, you go to the dashboard output, and this, you go back to the tab that's labeled rooms. And then in here, you'll see this, here's the file that didn't work. And again, we go to the same thing. When you double click on it, you go to here, and again, customize and vertical axis. And looks like we're up at like maybe, 80 from, 60 works here. And then on this one, it'll be, again, we can go from 70 to 90, see if it works. Actually, we could probably go to 85. And then we're updated here. And again, see if there's any other ones that don't work out, but that looks pretty good. So now we go back to the slide that we were working on. Now you can update them both, and then we can just kind of see what's happening visually. And then leave if there's ever text up here, delete the text. Again, you would go through, do the same thing. Here you would update, and that just updated it. Here you go to the next one, you just update it. Should update everything. Yep, looking good. Again, just go through and update. Go to the next one and update. And then you go to the next one and update. And then, that's it. That's it for the monthly reports. And then we're going to type a little bit in here. Really, we're going to take this, this text box and put it everywhere. And then we got a really simple monthly one. The quarterly ones are a little bit more involved. See wherever it says update, it means it's not been updated yet. So you would click update. So make sure there's no tables that have update written on them. But then, that's basically all we need to do to update the monthly one. The quarterly ones are just a little bit more in depth, but that's it. Once you've done this, and make sure you change the date here to April. Once you've done this, let me know, and then I'll write my report on it. But just check for things like, what's going on with all these different things. So in this case, if there's a ref, you would go back to the dashboard output, and in this case, that would be the key metrics, because it says key metrics, but you'll get used to where all the things are. Let me see what the key metrics ones are. I think the key metrics was right here. Month in review, is this the key? Yeah, this is where the key metrics are. So here we had ref, which I'm not sure what that would be for. You can't actually change anything on the output. This is coming from the, you know what this is? The star performance. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I haven't really done the star performance for Northlake yet because we haven't updated it. And I'll show you how to do the star performance in a different video. But anyway, so what we want to do is make sure that this is updated and that it all looks kind of clean, and that you've updated all the tables and all the charts and updated them the way that I just showed. So that's what we would do here. I am actually going to go back and show you another video on how to update the Smith travel reports, and that'll be in the next video.